riders of Rohan have mounted their horses and prepared for battle. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another glorious online battle. This time we are diving into the world of Rise of Mordor. And we decide to go ahead and use the Lord of the Rings Rohan submob, which obviously does what it says on the tin, adds in the glorious Rohan using pre-existing assets. And I think the modder has done an absolutely spectacular job with this submob. This really does give me the Rohan feel, and it's really impressive how he's managed to create these guys because, you know, they definitely do feel like they are Rohan. So hats off to the modder for creating these beautiful looking units. So yes, in today's battle we have a huge 2 vs 2. We're also using a really cool custom map as well, which I really dig, and this map could be used for a whole ton of really cool scenarios. So hey, if any of the guys who played this battle want to come back with me with an ambush battle or like a reinforcement battle on this map, that'd be absolutely awesome. But let's dive into what the two factions are bringing on either side of the field. So obviously we have the forces of Rohan, which we'll quickly take a look at just so you guys have a good idea of what they have in their roster. So on the front line they do have some of these Rohan mustard spearmen. You know, it goes pretty nicely with some hot dogs and, you know, maybe a bit of ketchup if you want to mix and match. Yes, I know these are mustard spearmen. It's a joke, guys, before I get a million comments. Then behind them we do have some archers of Helm's Deep. Obviously the peasant bowmen ready to come in. I mean, the peasant bowmen look a little bit better than they did at Helm's Deep, I'm not gonna lie. Then as we go over on the right hand side we have some of these dismounted shield archers, so a little bit more heavily armoured. We also then have dismounted Rohan oatmen. Again, like a lot of their infantry is going to be dismounted cavalry, you know, like that's just kind of what Rohan is all about. We then also have some Riddermark axemen looking glorious. As we continue to go back we have some more dismounted royal guard, these guys extremely heavily armoured. And then finally we have the creme de la creme of the Rohan roster, and that's going to be the Rohan bodyguard, the cavalrymen. We then have some lancers over on the right hand side, which again are going to be doing some serious damage. These guys are looking awesome. And then I believe there are some horse archers over in the forest itself. Yeah, some horse archers. So, you know, Rohan using a whole manner of units to bring to this battle. We'll play on slow-mo really quickly just so that people can get into position. I'm pretty sure the battle is just about to kick off, but I'm sure we won't miss anything too crazy. Over supporting the forces of Rohan, we have an army of Dale as they levy and notch their bows, ready to unleash a pretty brutal volley. Obviously, Dale are known for their bowmen, and yeah, they're going to be probably destroying the Dunland, which are going to be the faction that they're going to be facing. Behind them, they have some shipmen, so their front line's kind of weak. These shipmen are okay, but they're mid-tier infantry, really. And, you know, they're better suited to the waves, as their name entails. But I'm sure they'll be okay. Then behind them, supporting them, will be the Dalian swordsmen. We also have some pretty good cavalry from Dale. I think these horsemen are going to be really strong. These horses are very, very scary. In more of their elvish-esque armor. And then I believe we have a couple units of Vineland Guard just kind of in reserve in the back line. But, you know, the main part of Dale's army is going to be their missiles and kind of these elite Vineland Guard. Then we've got Dunland over here, again, in their shield walls, protecting themselves from missiles. Dunland have kind of pretty decent infantry, pretty decent archers, but they don't really excel in anything. You know, these are their top-tier infantry, heavily armored, and they're good, but they're not like, you know, they're not like Gondor good. So they'll be okay. You know, again, their bowmen are pretty decent, but they're lightly armored, so they can get picked apart. And as you can see, that's exactly what's happening from the Dalian. And we also have these units from Dunland, which I think are really cool. I love the way that the modders of Rise of Mordor have infused Isengard into their roster by giving them armors, weapons, and shields. You know, because Saruman would be, you know, outfitting these guys to do as much damage in the war against Rohan as possible. Then over here we have Gondor. Obviously, we've seen Gondor a million times. We are also using the submod, which adds in one of these infantrymen as well. So we're using 2 submods, the Rohan submod and also the Gondor kind of overhaul faction thing, which adds in loads of different units for all of them. I'll link them both in the description down below. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. Hopefully this battle will be very exciting. I think the map is really cool. I love the way that there's like multiple hills, lots of forests, and there's like a really dense forest in the center. I think that's very, very cool. Let's just kick this battle off and get on as the Gondorian Cavalry Charge comes flying out of the wood and looks to pursue the Rohirrim cavalry You know, you've got some more Rohan cavalry moving around. These bowmen are going to be unleashing a volley vote on the Gondorian knights. However, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep on going. And I think they're going to be able to break this defensive wall. Yes! Oh, wow. That was a nice charge by them. Really coming in. They're immediately going to pull out of that engagement, though. Obviously, you don't want to get stuck in against the heavier infantry bogged down by the Rohan. Or the men of Rohan. I guess Rohan are more of a mounted variants. So yeah, that was a pretty good exchange, I think. I don't know, that was probably a pretty even exchange. So the dismounted Rohan Oathman lost 15 men and the Gondorian cavalry lost 6. I'd say that's probably pretty even because the cavalry is really, really valuable. Normally in these battles, players tend to have a limit on how many cavalry you can bring. So because of that, you know, when you kill them, it's pretty valuable. Over on the left-hand side as well, you can see the Dalian archers just going to work against the Dunland forces. I'm surprised if we don't see Dunland charging forward. And this was something I noticed when I was looking at the battle beforehand. There's a very interesting dynamic in this battle because, as you can see, Gondor have a really nice set of archers. A lot of these Gondor bow militia, and then also Aphelion rangers. So it's kind of like Gondor have the bow advantage on this side, but over on the other side, Dale obviously have the bow advantage. So I wonder how the battle lines are going to shape up, you know, because obviously on this side, Dunland are going to have to charge against Dale, or they're going to have to sit there and take loads of ammunition from Dale, and vice versa. Rohan are going to probably end up having to charge the Gondorians. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the battle lines do develop, and obviously when there's a huge-ass forest in the middle of the map as well, how's that going to affect the battlefield? And as we can see, there's actually a bit of a skirmish right now as in the forest, as we do have some Dunland cavalry pushing forward. And then the Rohirrim are going to come flying in to help out their mustard spearmen. Even though I know I said that was a joke, I'm sure I'm going to get a million comments saying that. Also, guys, if you are new to the channel, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Drop a like, drop a comment if you want to see more of these Rise of Mordor battles. Make sure if you are subscribed, you have that bell notification tick, because without it, your subscription is basically useless. Unfortunately, that's just how YouTube works nowadays. So be sure to hit that bell notification to always get notified whenever I post videos. I'm going to be having lots of Rise of Mordor and Game of Thrones on the channel as we get closer to Game of Thrones coming out. Only like literally under a month away now. How exciting is that? That's awesome. We have, you know, more news coming out about the Amazon TV series for Lord of the Rings. So there's going to be lots of awesome stuff on the channel, guys. And obviously, whenever there's updates to this mod, you'll find it on this channel. So be sure to subscribe, you know, and like it, and drop a like if you enjoy this content. Let's see if we can break 250 likes on this video. That'd be absolutely spectacular, and I'd really appreciate that. This is like a very enclosed battlefield, but I'm really interested to see how deadly these mounted archers could be on the open battlefield. Oh, there's war dogs coming in as well. You can't even find them. They're going to slaughter these horses because you can't even see the dogs. Like, you can see them just about, but them dogs are going to ruin this cavalry. They need to get their head out of there. Yeah, this is like perfect for the war dogs. What a good move there by the Dunland player to unleash the dogs of war. We have Vineland Guard coming into the forest just to help support them. I mean, this fight, I imagine it must be so brutal to command the battles in this. We have some more of these tribal warriors charging against Vineland Guard. They're going to get absolutely cut to pieces. I doubt any of these tribal warriors with their, like, butcher knives and, like, axes to chop wood are going to be able to break the elven armor that these Vineland Guard have on. They'll give it their best shot, though, and, hey, you can't fault them for that. Oh, wow, we also have a big cavalry charge coming in. The cavalry charge must have come through the woods and then through this gap. That's a really nice move there by the player of Rohan. He's going to try and just, you know, smack it. Unfortunately, he didn't do too much damage, if any damage, really. Wow, yeah, he got slaughtered, and now the heavy Knights of Dharmroth are going to come in, and I imagine once these guys get bogged down, the Knights of Dharmroth are just so much more heavily armored. But even though the Rohirrim are obviously very skilled horsemen, in a straight-up fight, the Dharmroth Knights will win just because of their armor value. Speaking of which, we have a heavy charge right now as the Gondorians are moving forward. They have a lot of militia on this front line, so it's going to be interesting to see how the militia perform basically against Rohan militia. You know, these mustard spears are going to be just as bad as the militia, really. The militia probably have the advantage solely because we're a sword infantry. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this front line does kind of compare. And we have a lot of archers focusing down on militia as well. We also have a huge cavalry charge coming in. What is this, lancers? Yeah, the Royal Edaron lancers coming in. Seems like they'd rather go over the missiles, which is not a bad idea. This is going to be absolutely brutal as the cavalry take one volley. But look at that, they just wreck through the light formation. The Knights of Diamroth come in, basically hitting down and trampling on a lot of their own men. And then these lancers are going to continue to run amok. If the Knights of Diamroth can catch these guys down and basically bog them down, the Knights of Diamroth will probably kill them. But the fighting is hectic right now. How's this front line going? Yeah, as you can see, where the cavalry came in, they broke this. It might have been a good idea just to leave these archers alive and just try to completely break this front line from Gondor, because then you could reinforce and really push on. It seems like over on the other side that they're just still having this missile off, and it seems like Dale have clearly won the archer off pretty heavily. They've also got some cavalry around here. I don't think they can breach because of the magical red line. You then also have some more infantry in the forest. The Vineland Guard are a little bit overextended. There's not really a lot of support in them. We're getting some javelins thrown in. Yeah, the Donlan Chosen come in, and then the Vineland Guard are going to fall back to more friendly lines, which makes sense. And holy crap, we look away for a second, and the entire front line has been broken for Rohan. That is going to be catastrophic. I mean, they're advancing forward a lot more of their elite infantry now. You know, these are Royal Axemen, Riddermark Axemen, are going to come in and probably do a ton of damage. But the Gondorians also have their elite infantry in here as well, as they're fighting now just get down to the meat of it, as you know, both sides really throw themselves in. And the shielded axemen are probably okay in melee combat as well, because they obviously have that shield, but being surrounded is not a good thing. And now it's going to be up to the axemen to really cover. We have a lot of cavalry coming in as well and just colliding through, so I think to really kind of take this battle in fully, we're going to have to take more of a bird's eye view in this one to see where all the cavalry goes, because obviously the cavalry is extremely important for Rohan. And we do have the general going in, Theoden himself moving in. He needs to be careful because he's about to run into some Fountain Guard over here. So is he just going to go in for a charge? Try and maybe take cover in the forest? Or maybe he just hasn't seen these guys yet. Who knows? Okay, so now that the elite infantry have been moved in for Rohan, it seems like their cavalry are doing a lot better. Or just in general, their infantry is doing a lot better. We do have a cavalry charge coming in, and they're going to be counter-charging here as well. Yeah, there you go. They're going to be counter-charging in. However, the Knights of Damroth are going to be able to do a ton of damage through these Riddermark. Luckily, the cavalry of Rohan came flying in. That looks pretty awesome as well. You guys know I'm one for battles like this where you can just see lots going on in the background when you zoom in. That's when you kind of know it's a very interesting battle. It's going to be very exciting to see who wins these battles. Obviously, I imagine it's going to be Rohan, even though it's heavy Diamroth Knights. They are coming up against good Lancer units, and we've got a lot of infantry here as well. More cavalry coming around as well. The general just ripping through this. And again, it's mainly just a fighting in the wood now, as Dunland's throwing more and more of their axemen against the lines of Dale. But the main front lines aren't really engaged. And here we go, a beautiful cavalry charge off there. It seems like the cavalry charge really struggles on loose formation to rip through the ranks. You would assume they'd do a bit more damage. I mean, they get a pretty decent amount of damage there, so maybe I'm mistaken. But you would assume, on loose formation, they'd do a lot better. And this is one of the really big problems. If you send in cavalry unsupported, you're going to end up in this massive crossfire where you're just being shot from every single direction. So Rohan needs to get some more cavalry over here ASAP. And that's exactly what they're doing, breaking the lines of Gondor. They've got their general over here who's going to rip through that militia line like it's nothing and get onto the missiles. However, the Knights of Damroth are going to quickly go ahead and meet them in battle, going ahead and charging them in the rear. We've got cavalry going around just trying to silence this missile threat so that infantry can go in, and a huge break as well in the center right there. A bunch of these Riddermark axemen just being smashed and hit to the curb. Wow, what a cavalry-centered battle we have going on right now. More infantry being thrown up. It seems like Gondor have managed to break this flank quite handedly. They are only fighting Pelagrinith Marines here, or Spearmen here. So I imagine the dismounted Rohan Overmen will break that eventually, if they don't get enveloped beforehand. Oh, and we finally have an engagement over here on the left-hand side as Dunland clash against the Men of Dale. Brave, brave men as they both fight for honor and glory. As well as this, like, I think it'd be a great idea if Dunland sent their cavalry over to this left-hand side. Because look at how messy this battle is compared to, like, the neat lines of Dunland and Dale compared to this absolute mess. Imagine how useful this cavalry would be if they sent it all the way over and helped out this position. Even helping out in the forest as well, I think would be huge. As it seems like this unit of Gondor Spearmen have actually been enveloped right now. That can't be a good sign. We'll take a nice little bird's eye view just to see how things are really going. Overall, not too much. We have the general for Rohan looking very depleted. Only half of his men left, but he's going to get a good rear charge off, I think.
The enemy has obliterated an entire unit.
He's going to get a really good rear charge. Oh no, it's a very poor rear charge off on these Citadel Guard. And I need to get out of there before anything, you know, horrific happens. A lot of the archer fire going off. So as you can see, like, I don't know, I feel like this battle is going in favor of Rohan, but it's very hard to tell. There's a lot of archers left which need to be taken care of, and the archers are doing some serious damage, but I feel like Rohan have the infantry fight. So if they can simply bring some more cavalry down, yeah, it's exactly what they're doing. Throwing this general cavalry down here, got some cavalry breaking through here. If they can kill these missiles, I think they just win this battle on the right-hand side. Even with the Fountain Guard moving in. I think they just have the numbers, they're enveloping, they've got archers focusing down this Fountain Guard unit. And again, there are Citadel Guard here, but there's a lot of, like, really passive infantry here, so it's honestly not too bad. Rohan have a lot of good, like, axes and other infantry. But need to be very careful. The Rohirrim general is going to go down very quickly. He's being focused by a lot of missile fire. Look at that. This dude just took an arrow to the shoulder. Yeah, and there you go. Exactly that. The Rohan general is not just broken. That's going to be great for the Gondorians. They might be able to rally this and bring it back. There are more spearmen coming off, though, out of the forest. Yeah, we just need to get infantry back here to help support taking out these missiles. Oh, this is going to be big, though. If the cavalry charge can really come in here on the Fountain Guard, that's going to be super bad. But the Gondorians are going to quickly turn around. It's going to leave their backs vulnerable. That cavalry charge was very poor as well. I guess there's not enough numbers really clashing into that. How's the front line going for Dale? Seems like Dale are winning, like, certain points. Like, they're winning this center, but they're losing this flank quite heavily. And there's a lot of spearmen around here who can just come around. Archers moving forward. And as I'm saying, like, look at this. It's Dunland cavalry. He's not really doing much right now. Imagine how useful it would be over here, just hitting a lot of his infantry. Rohan have managed to win on this right-hand side. And soon going to be coming around. Yeah, all the archers for Gondor are broken. And they only really have these positions left remaining. Yeah, you can see this unit of spearmen in the forest is completely surrounded now. But they are only fighting peasant spearmen, so who knows how they'll be able to handle this. They might literally be able to break out because no one's really going to be doing damage here, and obviously the Gondorians are so much more heavily armored, so who knows. How's the battle in the forest going? Can we see that? Yeah, let's take a look at the battle in the forest. Oh, the Gondorian general has now gone down. That's going to be brutal. That's all the archers gone right. Yeah, all the archers are breaking now. Yeah, now Rohan can just use their cavalry, the rear charge of Fountain Guard, and pick them apart. You don't really tend to see Fountain Guard break too often, but I imagine without the general, heavy casualties attacking in the rear, they'll be gone out of this battle very soon. So yeah, as I was saying, the units that are in the forest are actually really good for Dunland. The Elder Spearmen, they're not as heavily armored as like other spearmen, top tier spearmen, but they're very strong and they don't tend to rout very often. With the archer volleys coming in as well, it's going to be great. Lancers supporting this as well. Obviously, the White Tree Knights aren't going to be doing great against Cavalry Charges. Oh, yeah, there you go. The Gondorians are finally breaking this surround. That's hilarious. Oh, wow, they didn't, did they? I think the Dale Cavalry came through this gap. That's going to be great for them. And they're going to charge in. I mean, they're being pursued pretty heavily. But if they can come in here and break some of the Dunland swordsmen, and as you can see, they do a ton of damage. No, what's the cavalry doing? Come in and help. Kill this cavalry. Oh my god, what's Dunland doing? They're going to be charging against these guys. What? Oh, I mean, that was kind of worth it, breaking that rank, but still. And now they've got around the back. I still feel like it would have been great to kill this unit of cavalry. You know, the Dale Cavalry is pretty decent, so taking it out is important. Oh, we have a big break over here, open up the gaps. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Blood Avengers are coming in now. The units with, like, that really cool Isengard aesthetic are now moving in, looking for blood. Seems like to help sturdy the line, the archers of Dale are going in. How's this fight going? Yeah, as you can see, but the men of Rohan have basically surrounded everyone now, and they're just, you know, cleaning this one up bit by bit. I'm super surprised, I'm not surprised that this battle is still going on. It's kind of funny. The Phantom Guard are very close to breaking, so it seems like Rohan have managed to best Gondor on the open field. I mean, Rohan on the open field, Ned? Oh, I wouldn't dare to think. Wouldn't dare to think. Now their cavalry's coming in just to help finish this one off. So yeah, it's really cool seeing Rohan, you know, at their might. And now they're going to be able to quickly rush over whatever they have left remaining. I imagine supporting in the forest. However, taking a look at the forest, it seems like Dunland is doing an okay job. Yeah, look at the disorganization in the forest as well. There's just like battle lines all over the place. And neither of these guys are really coming out. I mean, obviously the swords are winning, but the Elder Spearmen are still holding their own. There's a lot of archers as well. I mean, this is not a bad idea. I mean, a lot of your arrows do get stuck in the trees, but even still, bringing over archers over here is a good idea. The shipmen are coming up, advancing their formation. Cavalry Charge is just coming in, but how have Dale managed to do this? I guess, where's the cavalry? Wait, why is the cavalry in the forest? They need to be over here. Yeah, they're being broken in the center due to these cavalry charges. I don't know what Dunland are up to with their cavalry. It's just in the forest right now. And now Dale are just having an absolute field day, charging around the rear of so many of these units. We've got a unit of Elder Spearmen in their square formation. And there you go, Rohan have completely destroyed Gondor, bar like 2 units over here who are bravely standing. But I mean, even their time will come very, very soon. I'm pretty impressed with how well Dale have held on their front line. I mean, they did get cut down. It wasn't with this cavalry. I think they probably would maybe lose besides because all the Vineland Guard are in the forest. So pretty impressive. The shipmen held their own. They're a pretty cheap unit. I think they only cost like 550, whereas more elite infantry costs like 890. But I mean, Dunland have just, you know, abandoned their cavalry up on this hill, and it could be so useful right now. I mean, I imagine they just maybe want to save it or something, but leaving their cavalry back here has allowed Dale to completely devastate this front line. And even the flank that looked like it was going so well for Dunland has now crumbled to cavalry pressure. Vance power has also shifted pretty heavily in favor of the men of Rohan, and it's just going to be a small slog. So I'll cut out, you know, kind of the bits, because, you know, you can see the battle lines are basically broken now. So let's jump ahead a little bit just to kind of the last little stand of this battle. Okay guys, here we go, the last little stand. So basically all that happened, you guys didn't miss much. Dale just broke the front lines, what was ever remaining, and then just pushed into the forest, helping out the Vineland Guard that was still holding in here. And then everyone, with the support of Rohan, have moved in to basically finish this one off. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed this battle. Be sure to go ahead and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Let me know what you want to see next, whether it is more scenario battles, more Game of Thrones. Do let me know, because obviously Game of Thrones is, as I said earlier in the video, only like a month away now, so we're going to have to start, pumping up more videos on that, doing more exciting ones, because even though the mod isn't being worked on anymore, it would still be really cool to have some cool scenario battles before the season does end, to help build hype and get excited. Maybe we can do some Sieges of Winterfell, or, we'll obviously have to do all the battles that are played in the show itself. But all that's left for Dunland now are just this one unit of General. Wow, does this General hold for a minute 40? That's pretty impressive, honestly, considering, he's got all of this coming off the hills, charging down at him. The fact that he keeps alive for this long is pretty goddamn impressive. So, yeah, this has been a pretty exciting battle. Hopefully everyone's having a good Sunday as well, I'm pretty sure this is going up on Sunday. So yeah, let's just wrap up this battle and then we'll dive in and take a look at the kills, see who really racked up the most. Also, also let me know if you guys like me having the stats screen up here on the left hand side, because I'm using a 1440p monitor. I feel like this doesn't really take up as much of the screen as usual, so let me know if you guys like being able to see the stats and the kills on the fly of the units, or if you just prefer me to, get rid of it so you guys can see more of the battle. I feel like it's quite, not as obscure when you're not playing on 1080p. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Hey, what's around another unit of cavalry came back? Yeah, there we go. Well, that's going to be the battle. We'll quickly dive in and take a look at the kills. I think Rohan's going to rack up a ton. I think Gondor's going to do pretty decent as well. So yeah, let's take a look. So taking a look at Rohan, we can see the General getting 161 kills, and obviously the Lancers over 200 kills apiece. This unit of Sons of Edoras getting over 380 kills. That's insane. Holy crap, this Sons of Edoras getting over 500 kills. That is insane. They must have killed all the lightly armored archers or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Dale, obviously their archers are going to be the ones racking up a lot of the kills, and their cavalry doing a very nice job. Over on Gondor's side of things, the Knights of Damroth and some more Gondor cavalry. We also have the Knights of a White Tree as well, over 300 kills apiece. And then Dunland, this is their front line doing a very decent job. The Dunland front line is probably what's really good for them, and obviously these Blood Avengers as well. It's just unfortunate they couldn't really bring their cavalry to bear. Not that it would have been able to stand up to Rohan or Dale, but still, it would have been nice to see maybe a few more maneuvers with them. So yes, I will see you guys in the next one. Be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and fish out.